When you fly, it's hard to find a dream that'll top it. I used to forget my dreams all the time, since I was so eager to wake up and take to the air. But ever since I started reading, my nights became filled with all sorts of adventures. Not all of them were connected to daring do, but since I've read every book in the series more than once, it was natural that the words find themselves in my head. Gosh, does Twilight think in these flowery terms? And all at once, there it was. I was daring do, running through the clam catacombs, searching for the treasure of Big Philly Bay. The rush of the adventure was amazing, and when the catacombs opened into vast caverns, I took to flight. My wings carried me high and above the jagged edges of the carved rock formations as I moved closer to the glittering diamond at the top of the cave. It beckoned to me with its perfect surface as I flew only feet away. "Don't worry, I've got it!" The voice cut through me and I turned, stopping my movement in mid-flight. There beside me was a gray Pegasus with adventuring clothes and a safari hat, eyes turned this way and that. She smiled and said, "Dash and Derp will help you get there. We're in this together." And I fell and awoke. You know that feeling you have when you're falling in a dream and you suddenly hit the ground? Kind of like rolling off the bed? Imagine that in reverse when you're falling up, and you'll get the feeling of what Pegasi go through whenever they have a nightmare. There were 5 other beds in the room, each with their own deluxe bedspreads, pillows, and complimentary plush toy. Each one of my friends sprawled out differently on their beds, with some of the toys in their arms and others on the ground. I looked at mine and gasped. I dropped it when I realized the eyes had been pulled in opposite directions during the night. I looked outside and wondered, where could Derpy possibly sleep? "Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up!" Pinkie Pie's face greeted me in the morning. "Pinkie, quiet down," Twilight Sparkle said as she moved across the room. "I only need to talk to Rainbow Dash. Let the others sleep for a bit." Pinkie Pie made a zipper motion with her hoof and sat down. I could have sworn she somehow sealed her mouth, but I'm sure my sleepy eyes weren't registering the view properly. Twilight pulled a chair next to my bed and sat. "Dash, what's wrong? Please tell me." Twilight's eyes had that way of pleading with the pony without even trying. "I told you already, Twilight," I said. "Why the focus on Derpy? Okay, you say she's here, but then so what? Why should you have to worry about anything she does on this island?" Twilight asked. "She humiliated me in front of the Wonderbolts and most of Canterlot and Ponyville. She does this all the time. She's like a magnet for bad luck." "Dash, that's unfair," Twilight said. "It's true. I distinctly remember how badly you were injured when she dropped several heavy objects on you while you're investigating Pinkie Pie's pinky sense." "I did sense that," Pinkie said. "But even so," Twilight started, "she's still a resident of Ponyville and a very caring pony. She helped you oversee the rebuilding of Town Hall half a year ago." "Yeah, after she almost wrecked it," I said. "Dash, I know you. This isn't really about Derpy. It's about your desire to win. You're the most competitive pony I know, and if it's not a challenge, then you're not interested." "Ha, I'm not always like that. This resort has lots of opportunities for games, and many of the other guests have friendly matches over at the clubhouse located down the road. Come on, and give it a shot. We've got a day's worth of activities ahead." In her hooves was a long scroll stretching all the way down to the floor, across the room, and onto Twilight's bed. "I've got it all organized. You can thank me later," she said and smiled. I sighed. "Fine. Wake up the others." "Yay!" Pinkie Pie said as she jumped onto the top bunk where Applejack was sleeping. As she impacted, the bed collapsed onto the bunk below, right on top of Rarity. Gotta be honest, I saw that coming. It was quiet for a moment as Pinkie Pie, AJ, and a suddenly awake Fluttershy all turned to stare at the unmoving bed trapped below Applejack's. Due to the lack of screams from underneath, I assumed that Rarity was in complete shock. It took a while for the slightly traumatized unicorn to get her stuff together for the day. I've never seen her make that face before, and though no pony said who did it, she seemed to know it was Pinkie. "Pinkie?" "Yes, Rarity?" "If any pony's bed collapses on me again, we'll have a bed fort! Ooh, and we can have bed wars!" Pinkie said. Rarity simply stared. At the clubhouse, there were a few dozen guests already enjoying games like volleyball and water polo. A 50-foot waterfall cascaded down into a pool, where several ponies played at the far end. The pool made a rock dam before flowing out to sea. Rarity had hyped up the place, but it wasn't until now that I saw how amazingly awesome Clamhoof Cove was. Twilight walked over to the edge of the pool and turned to me. "Let's get a net set up so we can play our own game." She looked behind me as I heard Fluttershy speak. "Oh, the name of my pet is Mr. Wiggles. He was saved from a vicious seabird." Yay! A familiar voice said, causing me to twitch. I have a pet duck named Muffin, but he's at home right now. I turned very, very slowly. There, standing without a care in the world, stood my source of anguish, smiling at me with impunity. Hiya, Dash, Derpy said. I must have stood still for a while without saying anything, because Pinkie Pie moved in front of me and started to stare. Her eyes did not blink. Neither did mine. Pinkie, what are you doing? I asked. Winning, she said. No one can ace a stare-off game like me. Fluttershy flew over to Twilight and Applejack to help them with the volleyball net. I angled my gaze around Pinkie and over at the gray Pegasus. She smiled and closed her eyes as if she were thinking about something amazing. I narrowed my brow because I was thinking of the race. Pinkie tilted her head to match my own. I can make funny faces too, for extra points. Can I play with you guys? Derpy asked. My heart kicked me in the chest, and I promise if Twilight says yes. Of course you can play, Twilight said. And if Derpy is forced to be on my team, Rarity spoke up, you can play with Dash and Fluttershy. I'm going to sit this one out and enjoy the game from poolside. Several ponies walked up to Rarity and gasped. 2 mares approached her with bright smiles. You're Rarity! You're the one who was chosen as the winner of the Finnish fashion finale! Yes, it was all rather hard work, but worth it in the end. Rarity flipped her hair back and smiled. She turned to her friends. I'll play the next game. Right now, I absolutely must speak with my adoring fans. Come on, Dash, Derpy said, and suddenly my eyes started to twitch again. We're gonna win! I don't remember getting in the water. I don't remember the game starting, but I remember staring at that gray Pegasus the whole time. She just kept smiling and waving. Serve! Pinkie Pie said as she launched the ball over the net. I spiked it high and back over as I saw Fluttershy looking around the water for something. The ball came back and landed right next to me when I wasn't watching. Point, Pinkie said. Ha! I was distracted. That was a freebie. Where's Mr. Wiggles? Fluttershy asked. I picked up the ball and saw the small fish stuck to it by its mouth. Oh, there you are, she said. I sighed. Fluttershy, would you please remove your pet from the water? Oh! Pelican! It took about a minute to remove the bird from my face, and I tell you, it was going for me. It's always the face. The fish wasn't anywhere near my face. But Fluttershy had no problem getting a waiter to put it in a fishbowl at Rarity's table. That remora really seems to like you, Dash, Twilight said. They sometimes latch on to sharks. Sharks. Yeah, thanks, Twilight. That makes me feel better. We played a few more points before the ball finally came back to my team. Can I spike it? Can I? Derpy asked. I sighed. Here. I held out the ball. Guess it wouldn't be fair if I didn't at least give her a chance. 4! Derpy shouted as she drew back to hit the ball. Derpy, that's not what you say in volleyball, I started to say. And then she nailed the ball so hard, it shot out like a missile straight into the air. It ricocheted off a tree and came right back down towards us. Right to my face. I woke up hours later. Fluttershy was resting at my side with Mr. Wiggles swimming in the fishbowl on the nightstand. Poor Dash. The ball hit you so hard it busted. Are you all right? I'm having trouble seeing. I'm sure it'll clear up. It's most likely not a concussion, Fluttershy said. We had a doctor look you over, and he said you should be fine, but you have a big bruise on your noggin. My mouth is dry. What does that mean? You were drooling a lot, Fluttershy said. And why are all the plush toys on my bed? So you could snuggle them while you sleep. Fluttershy smiled. Most of them are covered in drool, though. Where is she? I said. Fluttershy knew who I was talking about. The yellow Pegasus was quiet for a moment. I'll go get her, Fluttershy said. And then I'll go tell the others you're awake. They went to get some food so they could bring you back something when you woke up. But we'll probably be stuck inside most of the day. The weather report said a storm is coming, and that we should all stay out of the rain. She stepped outside the hut. Seconds later, the gray Pegasus, who shall not be named, stepped in.